What's going on, guys? I'm Roger Fountain. Welcome back to Movie Shit, a podcast about movies and shit. I'm joined today by my good buddies, Tyler and Michael. Guys, how are you doing?
Great. Just lovely. Happy to be here.
Good. Today we're talking about Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. So I want to, glad to have you guys. I want to just go ahead and preface this with anybody that's watching or listening. Stop listening now, because we're just gonna fucking jump into spoilers, I'm sure. Tyler is hot off the movie. He just saw it this afternoon. Mike saw it yesterday, and I saw it the day before yesterday. So we're all just kind of a nice little lineup here, which I'm very excited about. So let's get your both initial thoughts. Ty, what'd you think?
I loved the movie. The entire movie was awesome until the end, of course.
Until the end.
Discuss that. It was just an enormous cliffhanger. Like, my kids were both like, is it over, Dad? I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Let's go.
I believe so.
But yeah, it was a really good movie. I loved all the little backtracks of seeing the old Spider-Mans and all the tie-in to the stories, and it was really cool to see all that stuff, especially like the Tobey Maguire stuff. Can I ask a question first before we get too far into it?
Sure, if you want to. Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Is Tobey Maguire's character officially dead? Because I watched the first movie. Little backstory here. I just watched the first movie yesterday.
Yeah. Which Mike told me, which is fucking insane that you haven't watched. Watched it before.
Because I had to pay for it. There's nowhere to stream it, right now.
Oh, okay. Fucking Sony, man.
Bought the movie $10. Whatever.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire. He shows in like at the dancing scene or whatever in the first movie is Tobey Maguire's character. Like it shows like him going through the series there. Is he dead now? The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, was that him that died in the first movie?
Mike, what do you think? I think he's fine, just from watching.
I think he's still there.
Yeah,
I think because his backstory is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man though in the first movie though. It goes through all of those.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, it's so Miles Morales. Yeah, in the first one, what is the fucking first one called? The Spiderverse. What is it? This is across into the Spiderverse. Thank you. So yeah, first one's Into the Spiderverse, and then this one's Across the Spiderverse, which they changed marketing wise. It was across the first trailers that shown for it were Across the Spiderverse Part 1, and so
the one that died in Into the Spiderverse is the Peter from Earth 42.
I don't know the numbers, man. Don't ask me the numbers.
It was.
Yeah. The numbers get confusing for me. I think
42 is the spider that bit him.
Right.
Yeah.
I think 65 is the MCU. I'm not sure.
And in Miles' universe, Miles was never supposed to be Spider-Man. It was supposed to be that Peter that died. But
correct.
That Peter was never like.
It's not Tobey Maguire Peter.
Yeah.
Or it's sure though, because it shows like his backstory of that through the comics of that. I don't know. Y'all probably haven't seen the movie in a while. That's just what I thought of.
Gotcha.
As soon as I seen it.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. There is, so let me get into Mike. Let me ask you your initial thoughts too, and then I'll answer that question. You loved it, right?
I loved it. It's like the first. You already knew, like the first one I considered like
it's the best
top 3 Marvel film.
Yeah, it's the best Spider-Man movie.
Like, if the third one delivers, it will be an argument because we just had this argument about top Marvel trilogies.
Right.
It's going to be up there if the third one delivers.
Yeah. So yeah, like this one was billed as Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, then marketing changed it, and now it's Into, Across, and Beyond. But I don't think Tobey Maguire is that same Spider-Man, because like Mike said, so have both of you gentlemen played the like PlayStation Spider-Man games? I know Mike has.
I have
platinum. They're both platty boys.
So yeah, it's I mean, fucking, there's a lot of Peter Parkers. Like Jake Johnson voices Peter B. Parker, who's stuck around. He's the one that comes into the universe and helps out, and he's not Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So not every Peter Parker is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, because you also have there's live action footage interwoven throughout this thing with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. So notice that. So we're getting into copyright stuff. Notice that Tom Holland's Spider-Man does not appear at all.
Yeah, it never showed. Yeah.
Not visually.
Andrew Garfield's did.
Yes, and Toby's did.
Yeah. And Toby's did, yeah.
So, and that's because fucking copyright-wise, like, Sony is still just holding on to Spider-Man, man. Like, you know, they let the MCU, like, have some stuff, and, like, Tom Holland and whatever, No Way Home, they mention briefly whenever they go into the Spiderverse, and Miguel O'Hara, voiced by Oscar Isaac, is like, he's like, don't even get me started on Doctor Strange, and Gwen's like, Doctor Strange doesn't sound like he should have a PhD or doesn't sound like he should be practicing or whatever. Yeah. And so, like, they mention it, but they don't show anything. And that's because Disney has the copyright on that. So, to answer your question, Ty, I think Tobey Maguire is fine. He's a little older. His back is broken somewhere, but that's a different Peter Parker. Because also, there's a shit ton of, obviously, there's a shit ton of fucking Easter eggs. And they show, like, a lot of the 90s. Did you guys ever watch the, I'm old, so, did you guys ever watch the 90s Spider-Man cartoon?
I've watched it. I watched it recently off of Disney.
Okay. Oh, wow, recently. Yeah, look at you guys. No, I grew up on that shit and Batman, the animated series. So, that's also Peter Parker. And his whole, like, Venom storyline is completely different and shit. So, I don't know. And Venom has, like, a crossover with fucking the MCU's Vulture at the end of the second one, Let There Be Carnage or whatever. So if you start getting into all these, like, timelines and stuff, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Well, the whole reason I asked the question is because when he introduces himself at the beginning of the movie, he goes through, like, the dancing scene where Toby turns.
I remember that. Isn't that funny? Shit.
Shows that Spider-Man doing that. So
which is specifically the third one, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm thinking that's Tobey Maguire's Peter, and he's dead. But he was blonde-headed as well. He was never blonde-headed in those movies. So.
Right. It could be an alternate timeline where he also does the stupid fucking, like, dance.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah, because there's a multiple, obviously, so.
Yeah.
My favorite Easter egg is them tying the Spider-Man meme that has been floating around into the movie.
That was awesome.
Which they also do on No Way Home. So, like, everybody loves that fucking meme. They're going to get that shit in there.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah, so let's so we answered that initial stuff. So let's talk about the beginning of the movie. So the first part of the fucking movie, before you even get to the title screen, it's pretty much like a 20-minute mini movie of Gwen, of Spider-Gwen, and her background and stuff. What'd you guys think of that?
Well, I think that was all to say that this whole movie, it was centered around Miles, but it was almost like it was a third-person perspective from Gwen. Because the ending set up, the third one I think is going to involve Gwen a lot more within the Web Warriors that she's going to eventually create.
Now,
so I think it's all about...
You know more than I do.
Yeah. I thought it was fine. It just, I wanted to focus more on the movie. I get they had the character build and whatnot. I wanted more of Miles in the beginning, so I was kind of getting restless with it.
Oh, really?
Zeke kept asking me, my son, when is Peter Parker going to be here? Come to watch.
Nice.
Where's Miles?
Obviously. So that's kind of got restless there, but it was a cool, getting a little more backstory on Gwen.
Yeah.
Her dealings with her dad, because that ended up being a good part of the story.
Yes, yeah. I like that they spent so much time on Gwen, just because this isn't like a specifically female-led movie, but she's definitely a major player. Right. And both of you guys have kids that you like. Mike, you saw it with your kids, right? I'm assuming.
Yep.
What did Maxon think of it?
Maxon got to, let's see, probably about the part where Miles really, after the Gwen scene, he probably got 40 minutes into the movie and fell asleep.
Nice.
All
right.
2 minutes.
I'm sure
Maddox
is obsessed. Yeah.
Maddox loved it. Maddox, when I was so shocked that if you don't, like, for those who listen, Maddox is obsessed with Spider-Man.
Yes.
Like, obsessed.
Yes.
But when Andrew Garfield showed up, that scene where he's there in the prison, and they're showing all the different universes.
Yeah.
And he's, like, crying. Maddox didn't say, hey, there's Spider-Man from this movie. He said, hey, there's Andrew Garfield.
Are you serious? He said the name, full name.
He knew the actors. He even knew Tom Holland. I was like,
wow.
Maddox is into it.
What a smart fella. Jesus.
He's obsessed.
That's cool. I was gonna bring that up. It's like, my generation, we always see. I mean, personally, I see Peter Parker as Spider-Man, but Maddox is more of a Miles guy, right? Which I find interesting.
Yeah, he loves Miles. He wore his Miles suit to the movie.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's
well, it
awesome.
depends on who you expose them to. I let Zeke and Zoe, my kids, watch the original Spider-Man that we call the original, Tobey Maguire.
Sam Raimi, yeah.
And so Zeke is all into that Spider-Man, or that's what he considers Spider-Man. Really. He loves Miles and stuff. He's got Miles posters on his walls and stuff, but he wants to see Peter Parker. That's what he was asking for in the movie. So
yeah, gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean, do you qualify Peter B. Parker as Peter Parker?
Yeah, that's who he was asking for because he liked that character in the movie.
I liked him too, and I like that he's a dad in this one, and he's funny. Yeah. And I'm a
fan of Peter Parker.
Peter Parker, baby. Peter Parker. So let's get into that. So Peter Parker, and so from the first one, Peter Parker and the noir Spider-Man, voiced by Nicolas Cage. They make an appearance at the very end. No voice work.
Cameos.
No voice work.
The Web Warriors, man. I'm telling you, they're going to be part of the Web Warriors.
Yeah.
All the ones from the original will be in the Web Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, they set it up that they're like going to come back. And I love there was an interview with Jake Johnson. And they asked him, they're like, are you going to be offended if they don't ask you to come back to play Peter B. Parker? He's like, oh, man, I didn't even think of that. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be mad. Like, I'm the lazy, I'm like, the unkept, unshaven Peter Parker. Yeah, you guys got to have me.
I think the metal... what was the metal Spider-Man's name? Like the guy that, like, I don't give a crap Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Punk, baby. Spider-Punk is in this bitch. Spider-Punk is fucking great. Voiced by Daniel Kaluuya. Very excited about that. Very glad he got a big part. I was going in, I was like, Nicolas Cage isn't even going to be in this, so I'm going to be disappointed. All alleviated by the presence of Spider-Punk. Fucking metal. Fucking great.
And that's another, like, Maddox immediately noticed that because of the video game.
Yes, because of the video game.
One of the suits.
Yeah,
it's one of the outfits you can use.
It's one of the suits in the first one. I don't even think he's in the second one with Miles. But yeah, fucking Spider-Punk, man. And, like, he's like, how are you even cooler when you take the mask off? He's like,
I'm always this cool.
I'm always this cool. And he talks about the baby. He's like, oh, that baby's an anarchist. I like it. I dig it. I'm like, yeah, I fucking love this guy. Yeah.
Take a crap on the man, he said to it. Took a crap.
Oh, did he?
Establishment.
On the establishment,
yeah. Whenever he fills the diaper. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Spider-Punk was probably like one of my favorite parts of the movie. And yeah, he like dips out in like the first act or whatever. So yeah, let's talk about, I mean, this is predominantly spider people, spider folk. Me and Charlie got into this because there's like a brief spider T-Rex, spider cat, it's not necessarily all spider men, spider women, it's fucking spider folk. And so let's get into the villains in this one. So the first one is Kingpin, and Charlie always laughed because Kingpin was like fucking huge. Like, when he's like holding his daughter or something, his hand is the size of her entire body. And so that shit's just fucking, just aesthetically, it's hilarious. And so in this one, I'd say in the opening villain is like Da Vinci era Vulture. What'd you guys think of like that flying machine Vulture? I thought he looked really cool.
The art was cool, but
so cool.
The art and the concept was cool. I just thought that the villain, I think the Vulture is like the dumbest villain.
The Vulture is the dumbest villain as far as Spider-Man's concerned.
Even Michael Keaton couldn't save that stupid villain idea.
He's all right. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's Michael Keaton. It's fucking Batman. I always see Batman. Like, even if he's the Vulture, it's fucking Batman.
It was a pretty powerful villain though in this movie because it took two Spider-Man to get him out.
Yeah, he fucking put a stop to Miguel O'Hara and what's the Spider Woman that's like pregnant? I don't know.
I don't know her name.
I don't know her name. Yeah.
Can we talk about how reckless that was?
Oh, okay. So dude, the entire time she's so reckless. Are you kidding me? But like,
she's extremely pregnant, having debris drop on top of her.
Extremely pregnant. And she's doing all this shit. But that's the thing is like fucking Spider-Man, always with his webs and his nimbleness and his spider sense, he can pretty much get out of any situation, Like he can like whenever Miles goes through all of those like holes like in that whatever reactor thing and he's just like threading the needle and all that shit. He's like, yeah, thread the needle, ring the bell. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous.
And I just feel like if she's a Spider Woman, and her husband was a Spider-Man, because her husband was he normal or was I don't think they
to
said.
be honest, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Anyway, I assumed it was Miguel for some reason.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. No way in hell.
I feel like the babies, it should have been hundreds of babies, not one, and they should have been on her back.
Eggs.
And
gotcha.
Eggs.
Yep. Yep.
You are a spider.
Are you more woman or are you more spider? All right, let's get this going. If you watch the '90s cartoon, they play into that a little bit. There's a old lady head on top of a bunch of spider legs that guide Peter Parker through everything. I don't know. You never watched. I mean, you watched a little bit of the '90s stuff. You remember her?
Horrifying.
It is horrifying. It's horrifying, but it's fucking great. I'm always about let's get more like horror stuff in there. So that's whatever. Da Vinci Vulture. So what do you guys think about the Spot?
Cool character. I thought it was really neat.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I thought it was a good comic relief in the beginning too. That whole scene was awesome.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Everyone knew what they were doing with it. So
Villain of the week.
I just thought I thought it's gonna be cool because I've read about the Spot before, so I know what's it's gonna look like. But I didn't think they fleshed it out enough. It was kind of like, I fell into myself, and now I can go into multiple universes. It's like, okay,
definitely more on the lighter side and comic relief side. So, Mike, you read about it. I thought the Spot was an original for this movie, so he exists outside of this.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
You gotta get up on that Marvel Unlimited, my boy.
Yeah, I know. But there's so many fucking Spider-Man. That's the, you got the Incredible Spider-Man, the Ultimate Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, and whatever. Obviously Spider-Gwen and yada yada. So yeah, I thought the Spot was new for this movie. I thought it was just like a plot device, but you're saying he's he's more serious in the comics?
He's more fleshed out, as in how. Okay, in the movies, it just kind of glances over the fact that
he's in the Collider or whatever, or near it.
Yeah, but how does that make him any more powerful than what he already was?
Yeah, well, he was just like a scientist or whatever. But yeah, I thought it was just gonna be a little blip at the beginning, just judging from the trailers. I thought it was gonna move on to whatever shit. But yeah, he's like the focal point, and he's like the reason for all of this shit. He ends up being throughout the entire thing, which is cool. And what Charlie said, what's his is he slender in the comics? His bodybuild in this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Where he's unfortunately for you, this is my skin.
That was the thing too. Is it the Spot that's responsible for all of it, or was it Miles? Because if Miles didn't get bit, no anomalies happen.
Well, I mean, the Spot travels.
He was the original anomaly.
He's the original anomaly, but the Spot is kind of presenting the overall multi-universal problem for Miguel O'Hara. So let's get into Miguel, Spider-Man 2099. Did you guys play Spider-Man Edge of Time? It was a game that came out in 2011.
I never played. I've seen it, but I know what you're talking about, but I never played it.
Yeah, that's the same. So I'm the same way. I haven't played it, but I know there were 3 storylines, and you played as regular Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099, and Spider-Man Noir. So the Noir was stealth-like stuff. But that's the only reason that I know that Spider-Man 2099 exists and all of that stuff. And so one of the plot holes that Mike and I have talked about is, I don't know if you noticed this, Ty, since you just watched it. So the Indian version of Spider-Man has a canon event that they derail. His captain doesn't die, and neither does his love interest. And so, because Miles jumps universes and saves them, right? But they're not. I mean, they send Spider-Man to contain whatever damage they have, and they have that one line where he's hopefully everything's fine, but we have to send in all these people to mitigate the damage and stuff. But they don't go back and kill the Indian guy's captain like they're trying to do with Miles. They're trying to kill Miles' dad. They're trying to make sure that he dies, right? And so I'm what's the justification here? Is the Indian guy not? I mean, he's not the original anomaly, whatever. But why do they not care as much? And I think the Spot is the reason for that, is because the Spot's jumping around different universes, and he comes originally from Miles's thing, and maybe if Gwen didn't show up and say hi to him, he wouldn't have jumped.
But that's why I think, again, it all goes back to Miles and him being the one that got bit by the spider instead of the original, the Peter that was supposed to get bit. Because if Miles doesn't get bit, his dad's not in harm. He doesn't destroy the collider. The spot's never created in the first place. And that's why, like, when they get, because the spot was created back when the collider exploded.
Yeah.
And to me, it was weird too because it was like, oh, it's a super special thing that only an elite group got it with the wristband thing.
Yeah.
But then when they get to that universe, there's a bajillion Spider-Mans there.
Yeah. She was lying to him.
Miles is like the only one that doesn't have any idea.
Right.
And he kind of tells him, he's like, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
Well, it still doesn't answer why they wouldn't make sure that his captain doesn't die, though. I guess they don't want to kill him themselves, so it's done. It's a done deal. They're kind of
and you start getting
the spot.
You start getting into that situation whenever Miles is like, we're the good guys. We're supposed to be the good guys in case you forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And Miguel's like, we are. Don't look behind the curtain. We are the good guys.
I told Raj that whole scene was 30 minutes of filler to tell us that you can't interrupt canon events.
Yeah.
Which I feel like you could have done that so much quicker.
So let's get into pacing here. You say it's 30 minutes of filler, which is interesting. So like this movie obviously ends on a cliffhanger. I mean, I'm sure both of you guys are kind of upset about it.
Yeah.
I was upset at where it ended. I wasn't upset that I knew it was going to end on a cliffhanger because I knew that there was going to be a part 2. But I just didn't like that. When you leave a cliffhanger, give me a small win.
Right.
Going into the next one.
No, it's just abrupt ending. That's what Jackson like. I mean, he meets the other Miles, and all of a sudden the movie's over. I'm like, what in the world? We find out he's a Prowler. I mean, you do get that. Yeah. But other than that, the movie's over.
Yeah, and then that's what I was telling Mike. As far as like pacing goes, so you have the mini movie with Gwen at the beginning before the title starts, and then you kind of have Miles' story about him going into the Spiderverse or whatever. Resolution-wise, I think script-wise, whenever he escapes and beats all of the Spider-Man, and he has that big speech with his mom where he's like, I realized how powerful I am. Like, I beat them all. That's the big, like, that's after the climax. That's like the big resolution that you get. And then, they add some stuff afterwards. Yeah, finding out that Miles...
Should have ended there.
Well, they got to set up for the next one, man. Like, I don't know. I thought it was fine.
Nah, I did not like the ending at all.
And that's what I was telling. Like we were talking about. I get that they got to set up for the next one,
right?
And I know myself. Like if I didn't rewatch the second one going into the third one, I wouldn't have remembered like a lot of the. You have to rewatch.
Yeah. They did some flashbacks though.
To give you extra, because everybody's gonna remember. Oh, Miles was the Prowler. Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But also, Miles as the Prowler looked sick.
Oh, he looked fucking great, man. He looked so cool, like
with the braids and freaking.
Yes.
Like
and obviously his like dad died or whatever. So so like you have multiple Universal Peter Parkers, and you also have multi-Universal Miles Morales. So I mean, Peter Parker from the video games is in this, from PlayStation games, from Insomniac games. He's in this. But the Miles from the PlayStation universe in the video games is not in this at all.
Yeah.
So do you think he's going to make an appearance in the third one and help Miles out? It's like, hey, not all alternate Miles are bad.
Maybe, because in the video... Was it the Peter... Well, yeah, it's the Peter Parker video game where Miles' dad dies.
Yeah, exactly. And I And so I was expecting his dad to die like so early in this movie. Like I thought it was gonna be gone, and it was gonna set up Miguel as the bad guy, and like he killed my dad or whatever. Like nobody should have to die, yada yada, Spider-Man shit. Like
so we do know that there's another universe where there's a Miles with a dead dad.
Who's also
a good guy.
Who's a good guy. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Miguel to me seems like just kind of off here, but Miguel to me seems more like Wolverine than he does as Spider-Man.
Because of the claws, yeah.
I don't know why. I guess it is the claws, but he's so jacked, dude.
He is jacked.
He took his head off and he had the Hugh Jackman
I loved that they kept hammering that joke home. He's like, oh, He's like a vampire good guy. I'd pay to see that. Like, are you sure you're a Spider-Man? Bro, do you even shoot webs?
I mean, he looks like Wolverine to me in red.
Yeah.
I did like I like the character. I like that there was one serious character in it. You know, it's a good contrast to what you expected out of Spider-Man. So.
I love that. He's like, are you sure you're Spider-Man? We're supposed to be funny. You're not really funny.
He's like Wolverine with Batman's temperament. You know.
Nice.
I have a feeling he's going to be one of the antagonists in the third film. Too,
I'm sure. You kidding me? I'm sure he's going to turn full bad.
They're forming the Web Warriors to prevent him from killing a Spider-Man's dad. So I mean,
yeah.
Well, he's got definitely a good villain origin story. Like Kingpin's origin story was really bad, like that losing his
wife.
Maybe
whatever.
That back together in the third movie with Miguel losing his whole world,
his family. Yeah, and like you said, the more I change, the more I change in the timeline, the more worse stuff gets or whatever.
Right.
And so we're getting into like Flash type territory there.
Speaking of the Flash, that preview before the movie, oh man, that new movie with the Michael Keaton scene.
We can get into it, but I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, you're not gonna see it?
No.
What?
I know. It's just because of fucking what's his dick, dude.
What's his?
The guy that plays the Flash, or not the guy. Sorry, they that plays the Flash. Ezra Miller.
Oh yeah, the douchebag now.
Yeah, the douchebag that literally beat up people.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He assaulted fans in New York, and then he went into hiding. He ran away to Hawaii. When he came back into the States, he went into hiding.
Later. Yeah, I remember that story.
Okay, sorry, didn't mean to derail the conversation.
No, it's fine. It's just like
that Michael Keaton scene fired me up with him coming back
yes,
to Batman. I was like,
yes,
oh.
No, I would. It looks really fucking good, and I would love to see it. And I love supporting Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck back as Batfleck. Fucking sign me up, like. And I love the Flash too. I love the Flash as a character. Barry Allen, he's very similar to Spider-Man, in that. So Barry's very like a Christian sense of morality. He like goes back in time to like save his mom, and Spider-Man's trying to save his dad, and so it's comparable and moral compass wise. You can't do much better than Barry Allen and Peter Parker or Miles Morales for sure. But if you get into the casting and stuff, he fucked it up, man. He fucked it up, and the only reason I'm going to avoid it is just to cut Warner Brothers money. Now, when James Gunn comes back and directs all of his DC stuff, I'm going to see everything. Like, I'm not worried about that. Because he's, like, taking the helm for that. But, yeah, we're getting into,
the savior of DC.
The savior of DC, yeah. So, let me ask you guys this. I've seen a couple of articles online about this. Did you guys have any, like, audio issues in the theater when you watched Spider-Man?
No. It was pretty smooth.
Okay, cool. Yeah, me too. And so, like, a lot of people are saying that they can't really understand what people are saying, like the music's too loud or something in there. And there's only, like, a couple of times that affected me. And that's, like, whenever there's so many spider people on screen that it overlaps. And, like, just because I'm not fucking, 13 anymore, I can't pay attention to all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, there was scenes where they're speaking Spanish to each other
that too.
I
didn't understand.
Subtitles.
Yeah.
Well, everything else is fine, and I'm pretty deaf.
I'm half deaf here anyway, so it doesn't bother me.
There you go. Huh? Anyways.
What?
What? Yeah. But yeah. So you guys are kind of disappointed with the ending. I liked that they made a joke whenever the movie like slowed down for a second. Is whenever Miguel O'Hara is coming down on his, like, whatever platform. And Gwen's like, I know it's slow. Let him do his thing. It's his thing. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Give me a goddamn breather. But yeah.
You know what I would like to see?
What's up?
So, the first time I read about the Spot was in a Daredevil comic. So that,
interesting.
If he could show up, I know that's never going to happen, but that would be legit.
So you say. I mean, yeah, it's not going to happen just because of the... So
Disney's got Daredevil back, right?
Exactly, yeah. Which, there's a shit ton. There's always a shit ton of Daredevil and Spider-Man crossover, which I love.
Mhm.
If you played the video games and stuff, like Black Cat, Kingpin, obviously is a huge crossover. All their villains pretty much crossover, and the morality issue crosses over for both of them because Daredevil doesn't kill people either. He just kind of like beats the shit out of them. Like moves on or whatever, and he's got like whatever his like sticks and shit, and he kind of has a spider sense just because his sense is so heightened because of his lack of vision or whatever. With all
we don't kill, we just paralyze.
they
never killed anybody with destroying buildings and throwing cars. They never killed anybody doing that.
Like I know. You gotta. That's movie shit. You kind of gotta go in with a sense of. There you go. You gotta go in with a sense of disbelief. Because, like, there's no possible way they could save everybody. When a huge-ass fucking building is falling on top of the bridge, and there's only 3 spider people, like, saving people, I'm like, oh, somebody's dead. You can't tell me they got everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine being the one jerk-off that died.
Oh, my God.
Everybody else is running, getting saved by Spider-Man, and you're like on your cell phone reading Twitter. You get crushed.
Oh my God, lol. Dr. Octavius is so fucking funny. I bet he's got 8 assholes. Which I liked in Into the Spiderverse that there was what? Tyler, you're fucking dying here, bro.
I didn't know Doc Ock had 8 buttons.
All of the different versions of J. Jonah Jameson. Legoverse is in this bitch.
Oh, that was
Love
so
that
good.
shit.
No, that was cool. Yeah, Zeke loved that part. That was his favorite scene in the movie.
Love that. I'm like, yeah, let's get some more Lego. Yeah, all J. Jonah Jamesons are all voiced by J.K. Simmons, and I'm here for it. I'm all about it.
Yeah, dude, I was having so much fun when they were just hopping through. I wish they would have spent a little bit more time doing that.
Yeah.
Showing just the different universes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
I love that part where he's like, "You're acting like this is a normal Tuesday. I just hopped through space and time.
Yes.
I literally ripped the fabric.
What
and
is,
you're acting like
what
it's
is
a
that
Tuesday
lady
evening."
from? She's in an MCU movie. Is she from Shang-Chi? I think I saw her in Shang-Chi. Or is she from No Way Home?
That's what I was assuming, but I have no idea.
I don't know where she's from. I'm like, I know this bodega. I know this bodega. I've been here before. Oh! She's from Venom. Never mind. She's the lady that Venom fucking always gets his like food from and goes to the bodega and she's like, "Hi, Venom."
Oh, yeah.
That guy. That's who it is. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, Tyler. I just realized that.
Speaking of that, it took me to the end of the movie to realize that Ghost Spider and Miles are animated differently. Their worlds are. I don't know why. It took me that long to realize that. I watched 2 movies, and at the end of that movie, I finally realized when I see her dad in the background and whatnot, I'm like, they are animated different. Their worlds are different. So
yeah, there's so let's talk about aesthetics. Aesthetically, this motherfucker's gorgeous. It's goddamn, it's great, and I love I don't really care. I'm glad that so Into the Spider-Verse is very animated and very detailed, even in the background. But Across the Spider-Verse, they kind of went. So whenever they come back to, they put less detail in the background for some parts, just to save on budget or whatever, because they need to animate all the other spider people whenever they get into there. But when they come back to Gwen's universe, and it's all just her color palette, it's whatever, turquoise in the background, purple, all that kind of stuff. But it's just flat. Love that. I would say the only part that was unsettling to me. And it makes sense, but so in the opening scene, whenever Gwen's whatever, her dad comes upon her and is confronting her. You have the right to remain silent, all that shit before she makes the jump. Whenever it cuts back to her dad, it's fucking... cinematically, I understand the stark contrast between half of his face being lit and half of it being dark. He's trying to decide mentally, what are my morals? What am I going to do? It's my daughter, but it's also the woman I've been hunting all this time. Where do I stand police-wise, whatever. I get, the mentality of it, but visually I was just, thrown off. What?
I did not get the mentality. He's an idiot.
Oh my
it's my
God.
daughter? It's been you the whole time.
Come on, bro.
Jesus, why did you tell me?
Okay, these guys are terrible parents. They might be cops, but they're terrible parents. How do you not know your kid is Spider-Man or Ghost Spider? For how long? 2 years? You say we chasing her? 2 years?
Something ridiculous,
Look in her bedroom, pal. You'll find something.
Yeah, dude.
She hides it in her drum set. I thought that was really cool, too.
But yeah, so even if you don't know, it's what a moron. Okay. You've been Spider-Woman this whole time. Okay, so thank God. Now I know it wasn't the Spider-Woman that killed your friend.
Peter Parker, yeah.
I'm gonna arrest you. No, you wouldn't.
No, you
no
wouldn't.
father would. If it was one of my daughters, I'd be like, "You idiot! Why didn't you tell me?"
Right. So you're in the military, so you can speak more to that sense of morality because he's like a cop or whatever, and apparently he's a cop over being a parent, which you find is bullshit. Which I also find is bullshit.
Well, they reached back into that part because they talk about how if he takes the badge up, another guy with bad morality would do. So
yes, they touched on that. They give it a line, yeah.
So that's kind of where they tied that in anyway.
Yes,
so.
yeah, which I like.
Still dumb.
And then like halfway through the speech, he's like, I quit being a cop. Like halfway through it, he's like halfway through your little speech there. I'm like, oh my god, Daddy, please.
I thought it was dumb. Okay, now I've got the most powerful freaking
teenager daughter.
To help
Yes,
me with cop work.
Yes, exactly.
We're
but
gonna
he quits.
clean these streets up.
Well, I mean, you say that, but then you have, not J. Jonah Jameson. What's the guy that says turning frickin' frogs gay? What's his name? Alex Jones. You have Alex Jones version of J. Jonah Jameson constantly telling the public that she's a vigilante and that what she's doing is illegal, right? And she's probably the cause of all this. And
Bro,
I'm not gonna say
you said. I'm a soldier. My daughter's Spider-Man. She's going on deployment with me. We're ending terrorism tomorrow.
We're ending terrorism
it's
tomorrow.
It's over. You got the most. That's all. I think again, it's movie crap.
Yeah, it's movie shit.
I mean, you
gotta. You're welcome. You got to get it in there, Ty. The bills don't pay themselves.
Michael, I'll say this: Michael has been spunky ever since he cracked open that diet dude.
Hey, he's a spunky boy.
Hey, look.
That motherfucker was born spunky. Are you kidding me?
Swig a dude for the working man.
I found it so funny. He just cracks it open over here. Roger's talking.
No, it's great. I'm fine with it. Shit. Like we keep. Did you guys watch the Little Mermaid episode thing we did?
I haven't watched it.
I've seen some of your TikToks.
Yet.
Okay, yeah. We keep it loose here. That's all right. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, so we're wrapping it up here at the so Into the Spiderverse was my top Spider-Man movie, like of all time. What do you guys think? What? Into the Spiderverse? Tyler, you looking at me like I'm crazy. Yeah, Into the Spiderverse, the first one.
The first one.
That was
That
was my top one.
All of them? You're talking all of them?
I'm talking all of them, baby. I'm talking all of them.
Okay.
Because, I hate, to be honest, I am sick and fed up. So I look at the Metacritic score and the Rotten Tomatoes score or whatever. Andrew Garfield gets no fucking love. The Amazing Spider-Man. What? See?
So good.
What is up? Yeah,
so
okay, good.
So good. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum here with Andrew Garfield.
Don't you put that pop filter to work on me.
Sorry. The second one left something to be desired. I will say that. Script-wise, Jamie Foxx's Electro, that shit was all fucking terrible and cheesy and garbage. But him losing Gwen, that whole bit was fucking gold. So I think it meets somewhere in the middle. So where does this rank? Where does this new Spider-Man rank for you guys? Number two heard. 2 is probably where I'll land as well. 2 right underneath.
2 out of all of them?
Yep.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Next.
Yep.
It's
Same.
those 2.
Yep.
1 and 2.
It's those 2. Yep.
If the ending wouldn't have been so terrible, if it wouldn't have just.
It's not terrible. It's just a cliffhanger. But yeah.
I couldn't say I've never been to a movie theater. This is the first time in my existence I've been to a movie theater. I said the movie's over.
To see us.
I didn't. I was sitting here on the edge of my seat waiting for this build up, and it's just over.
Interesting.
So that drops me down to at least 5.
Oh fuck, man. Damn.
I like all 3 of the Tobey. I mean, everybody hates those movies.
No, nobody hates those. The third one people hate, but
yeah, okay. I'll put all 3 of those in
Sandman
movie. The first movie,
Sandman's great.
Sandman is great. The first movie, Into the Spider-Verse would be over at 2, of course.
Yeah.
And
No Way Home's really fucking good. No Way Home's.
Yes.
No Way Home's number 3.
But I would have to put it 5 or 6. It'd been down there for me just because of the ending. If the ending was done better, I would probably put it up there at 2 or 3.
I don't think it was done bad. You say done better. I think there was enough resolution for me personally. There's enough resolve. But then again, I'm a huge movie guy, so I understand structure and what they need to promote and whatever. So for me, whenever Charlie was watching the movie too, she was like, it's just over? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I thought so. She's like, about 40 minutes ago, I was like, there's no way they're going to wrap this shit up in 30 minutes. I'm like, yeah, there's no way they're going to wrap this shit up. It's all set
That's
up.
what I told Mike. I put or I may have texted you, Ross, 2 hours of investment.
It's a lot. Yeah.
To not know that what the plug is here and
Well,
how it happens yet.
Okay.
Well, that's why there's a third movie.
There's a third movie.
But now, is it going to be another 5 years before we get a third movie?
So it's not going to be 5. Fuck, it's going to be out I don't think it's going to be 5.
First one came out in 2018, right? So
2 years,
2023.
Oh shit. No, I think they're working on it, Ty. I think they're animating it and stuff. Which also,
I hope so.
Also, it's fucking gorgeous. I just love this animation.
They don't rush it, of course.
Right. I love this animation style. They might, and I'm fine with this. Would you be fine with them coming out with an hour and a half long movie to resolve this?
Yes.
I would too.
Yes.
Cool. I would be fine
That's
with
my
that.
sweet spot. 90-minute movies are my sweet spot.
Right.
That's where I want to be.
That's right. Yeah, I can't stand how every movie nowadays
It's fucking
needs to be
3 goddamn
2
hours.
or longer. Yeah.
Fucking Gone with the Wind was like 4 hours, so they've been doing it for a long time. But it's as long as it's not
all that.
as long as it's not boring. Have you guys seen The Boogeyman?
I'm going to either tonight or tomorrow to see it.
Don't do it. I mean, you can, but it's boring. It's boring.
Well, I mean, it's a horror film. It's either great or it's not good at all.
It's a PG-13 horror movie, so it's fucking boring as shit. Yeah, I know exactly. So you might want to cancel that. But that's what me and Charlie saw that last night, and I warned her beforehand because I went to an advanced screening of it, and I was like, don't fucking go. She's like, well, I gotta go. I'm like, all right, fine. So we went, and she was like, that was 90 minutes. That felt like 3 hours. I'm like, yeah, because it's fucking boring. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with it. I hope it comes out within the next 5 years. I don't know why. I mean, Sony, how much stuff does Sony have coming out? Not that much.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys catch? So I was a jackass in the theater. Did you guys catch the Coca-Cola joke that they made? Okay.
Seems like I remember something about this.
Yeah, so they have whatever. Sony always puts their fucking product placement in their movies, and so he has the Sony headphones. I don't know if you caught that.
Yep.
And then
I did catch that.
Yeah. And they're playing the PlayStation. They're playing the PlayStation Spiderman, which I thought was fucking great.
Yeah.
And then the other one was the Nike product placement with the shoes. Obviously, he's like, "Are those my Jordans?" Whatever. But
making so much money.
In the background of one of the shots is a huge red sign in the Coca-Cola font, and it says soda, and then underneath it says it's a generic brand. I'm like, yes. And so I laughed. I chuckled pretty hard. Nobody else fucking laughed. Nobody else fucking saw it in the theater, and I was like, well, great. Now I just feel like a jackass. Yeah, I know exactly. That's exactly what happened. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. Mike, do you want to do a score or no?
I'll give you my score. You already know it.
All right, it's a 10 out of 10, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
You're a very enthusiastic fella. I also will give it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, y'all, I'm not going to give it a 10.
You're not going to give it a 10?
You better give it at least an 8.
Don't give me a 7.
7.5.
Don't give me a 7.
7.5.
Oh, you're giving me a hyphen. Come on. Either dedicate to a 7 or an 8. Don't give me this.
I don't say it's bad enough to be a 7, but I don't want to say it's good enough to be an 8.
It's great.
That's where I'm at.
It's definitely good enough to be an 8 at least.
The first 2 hours and 15 minutes was a 10.
Look at the animation.
Oh my god.
Look at the animation. Yeah. So just the ending is knocking you down to a 7 area.
Put a bad
Holy
taste
shit.
in my mouth.
You're gonna be
I like some payoff here.
You're not gonna be a teacher. That's the worst shit ever. If a kid wrote you a paper and it was all fantastic, the last paragraph was kind of like, and I hate my fucking teacher, Tyler. He can go suck my fucking dick.
I can go right over there to my student and say, hey man, you messed this up. I gotta wait 5 years for the next movie.
Oh my god.
He's got a point there.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at on it. Don't get me wrong. It felt like I was watching a comic book. Like you said, the animation was beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It's an awesome movie. Yeah. All the action scenes are great. I would give all that stuff 9. It's just a movie. Maybe if you ask me this tomorrow, then I'm not so hot off of it.
Yeah, you're really hot off of it. Yeah.
I'm like I said, I watched it 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I'm thinking it right now. But later I might say, yeah, it's a 9.
And you bought the DVD of the first one. I was gonna say, me and Charlie are eagerly awaiting for the Blu-ray of all 3 of these motherfuckers, so that I can so we can pause it and look in the background and see all the different kinds of Spider-Man and whatever Easter eggs they have in there. Because you can't pause it in the theater, obviously, but I'm sure there's a shit ton of stuff that I missed.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Tyler actually brought up a good point. I think I'll drop my score probably to a 7.5 too.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck. You can't do this shit. You and buying Xboxes and taking them back for PlayStations in the same month. You're fucking killing me.
Look, I'm joking. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, cool.
It's a 10. It's a 10 all
It's a
day,
10.
every day.
No, he's really thinking it's an 8.5 now.
No, it's legit. It's a 10.
You can take it to an 8. I'm fine with that.
Even and I did.
I'll give it an 8 to now. But text me tomorrow and ask me what I think.
All right.
The soundtrack was awesome too.
The soundtrack was sick. Not as good as the first one, I don't think. I listen to the first one all the time, but I need to.
Agree.
The first one was better.
I need to go back. Where the fuck was I? I was in some fucking random ass grocery store the other day, like yesterday, and they're already bumping the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack. I'm glad this shit's everywhere already.
In their defense, Post Malone hasn't dropped any absolute bangers to use lately. Because Sunflower
Sunflower's great. We still listen to it like every day. The song that Uncle Aaron plays on the record player there at the end, right before the Prowler comes in.
Sick.
Oh yes.
Ain't No Love in the Heart of whatever it is.
Yeah.
I heard that song before and I hadn't heard it so long, and I immediately added it to my playlist while I was in the theater because I was like, that song's great. So
Yep. All the shit with fucking Uncle Aaron is just fucking great. All right, guys.
Yeah, it is.
All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for joining me, fellas. Hope you're having a great afternoon. And I'll see you guys next time for Oppenheimer, baby.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Let's go.